Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror PSA presented by Scary Nerd, and as always, we are your hosts. I'm Paul.
I'm Saul.
And I'm Angie.
The following is a public service announcement.
Mel Brooks' parody of the classic vampire story and its famous film adaptations. That's right, we watched 1995's Dracula, Dead and Loving It, starring Leslie Nielsen.
Yes, we did. I love this movie so much. Love this movie. Peter McNichols makes this whole fucking movie.
Oh my goodness.
He's just one. He's one McNichol. Not
Yes.
There's not more than
No,
one.
he's multiple McNichols in this movie.
Well, he
was all over the place.
He's got a very weird career. I mean, he's
so physical with his comedy in this
Yes.
movie, and I love it so much. And it's so different from his Ghostbusters. It's Vigo.
Here's the funny thing about him.
Janosch.
I had only ever known him as Janosch for years. So when I saw him do movies where he wasn't Janosch and he didn't have the accent, it blew
He's been
my
in a
freaking
million
mind.
things.
He
Saul.
has. He's been in so
Still,
many
though,
things.
Still, when
He's even been in like serious stuff.
Yes, that's the
I
thing.
think he's on Grey's Anatomy now.
See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
He
is-
might be. I think. I don't remember.
Wasn't he on that Ally McBeal show back
I think
in the
so.
fucking 90s?
I was Ally
never
McBeal
watched
was
that.
before my.
That's the thing. Is like when I was younger and I
My
realized
time.
he didn't have that accent. It blew my mind. I'm
You
like,
really
Yeah.
thought he just had the
Yes.
Janosch accent.
Yes, I
Janosch?
thought he was whatever he was. He
You
was,
are like the buzzing of flies to him.
I thought he was a
Not
foreigner,
even what his
and then when I
accent.
actually heard him speak his normal native tongue, I'm like, "Holy crap! I did not know that."
Well, how do you know that what's normal?
Every time I see him, you know what I hear? I hear that
What
laugh
if
he
he's
has
not
in this
American?
movie.
No,
No, that that one
No,
where he's looking under the blanket and that that little one.
I
But still,
saw
Everything. Yes.
No matter what, though, I'm still always gonna picture him as Janosch. So even when he's in serious movies, it's like it's Janosch. I can't picture anyone else but him.
I love him in the carriage ride because that fucking carriage ride is just tossing him all over the place.
Only a Carpathian.
Yes.
Yeah, that is like, oh, English. We love the English.
English.
Eh.
Meh. That's the first meh.
Meh.
That's where it originated, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yes, the original.
Meh.
Yeah.
The lady with the fucking I don't even know what nationality she was supposed to be, but she had a gorgeous stash coming in.
Yes, she did.
There was a lot of mustache humor in the opening
Mustachioed
scenes.
humor, yes.
Oh, you can't go.
English. Hold on, English. I love that guy, that old guy.
Yes.
I love it when they're bouncing around the fucking carriage or whatever, and then he breaks both of his handles, and he goes
Both
back to
straps.
the other side or whatever. And the woman with the mustache is like, no. He's like, okay, I understand.
I get it, yeah. I understand.
Well, he tries to sit in between them, and they just kind of push him out of the way.
Oh, I know. One of the big things that this movie does that I really love is the way they make fun of Victorian English repressed society.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they do so much, and even him in that scene, how cordial he is to those people,
Yeah.
even though they're kind of being dicks to him.
Yeah.
It's like he's still. And then when they get to the little town, and he's like, "I'm expected." It's like,
Yes.
bitch, that's a vampire. You
Well,
know.
they kept warning him, and
expected
he
there.
should have figured out, okay, they don't want to travel at night. They got you as far as they could, and they're like, we're not leaving at night.
Schedule. And then the throat gypsy. The
Oh,
throat
my
gypsy
God.
is my favorite, and she's amazing. She's from The Graduate. If you don't know who she is, I don't remember her name.
Anne fucking Bancroft.
Anne Bancroft. I couldn't remember her
She's
name.
from The Graduate. She's also Mel Brooks' wife.
She
by the
is,
way.
yes, but she was in The
Maybe
Graduate.
she was then. I don't know.
I love how she gave him the cross, and he didn't want to take it, and then finally...
15 kopecks.
15
And they
Cobra.
finally reluctantly took it, and she charged him.
Hey, maybe I shouldn't make a gypsy joke.
Yeah.
Probably not for any gypsy listeners we have.
I don't.
Travelers.
Are they even gypsies anymore? Or are they just the Romani people?
I don't know.
I
Or
feel
was
like
the
there's-
Romani before gypsies?
I feel like there's probably a difference, and you know,
I feel like there should have been a class on nationalities we all had to take.
There should
I don't
be.
think anyone really knows anymore. So
I don't
who
either.
would teach this fucking class?
I don't know.
Well, this country used to be this country, but now it's this country.
Yes.
So if people
Yeah.
say that they're this or this, they're both right technically.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm already D.
You would,
See,
you would get
seeing my
confused.
way through
Get a
this
D.
class is what I'm doing.
You would have to forget everything you knew when it comes test time and be like, tell us about what you think of these people, who they are, and be like,
Yeah.
ah, shit.
One of the things that I've always loved about Mel Brooks' humor, and Mel Brooks really had just a straight line to my funny bone when I was a child. Like, he was like the epitome of hilarious when I was a kid, because he has all those little unexpected things, and it's just one of those things where, like, oh, we'll make the handle break. Like when he goes up to knock on the door of Dracula, it's just ridiculous stuff.
Well, I feel like some of them, like I think the difference between Mel Brooks and other people that make comedies is that he will simultaneously use something as, exposition and comedy.
Yeah.
So like the handle thing, it's like, okay, you're getting that it's been, hundreds of years and this metal is just corroded into nothingness. But it's also kind of funny. Just he's like, just has it crumble in his hand. So it's like, it's exposition, but comedy at the same time. So it's like you're utilizing moments that would otherwise be mundane.
Yeah.
As exposition. This is like the mustache guy who's like, oh, you can go. Like they were giving you exposition, but in a comic way that you're like, all right, I still enjoy the scene, and I'm not even going to care that they're just spilling out the plot points in like a cheesy way.
Same thing with the throat gypsy. She's just
really
jiggling her throat around
for no reason.
And long too.
Yeah.
Like she walks.
She walks away, and then they'll turn her over, and then they turn back.
I love it.
I think the thing that I love most about Mel Brooks' comedy is how he has callbacks to a lot of his jokes. I think my favorite part was where Dracula and Van Helsing, they were having their last word spat.
Oh yeah. Fushpa or something like that.
They just kept having that going back and forth, and you see Dracula walk by and he says his last word, and then ultimately Van Helsing does get the last word when he lifts up the coffin?
The movie,
the coffin,
But still, though, in his style of movies, that's the one thing that I always appreciate. He always has those that are like, oh yeah, I forgot about that joke, and then he reminds you of it by doing that.
He does a lot of running gags.
Yeah, same thing with the shadow in this one.
And he does, well, it's definitely, a spoof of, all
Dracula,
the comedy movies. I mean, all the Dracula movies. Because there's the fact that when Leslie Nielsen goes to drain Lucy and he puts the cape over and covers her, that's a bit of an homage to Christopher Lee when he played Dracula. So it's like he has little things like that's kind of an homage and a spoof at the same time. And obviously the shadow was of the Bram Stoker's Dracula from
I
Francis
love
Ford
when he
Coppola,
fucking falls down the stairs. I love it. I'm like, yes. Because if it's on its own, right? If the shadow can move independently, shit would happen like that. Like, it's going to be doing some weird shit. And then again, when they're doing the dance of love and it's like they're humping, their shadows are humping.
And he yells at him.
Knock that off.
The shadows are getting a little frisky.
The dance doubles in the movie.
I love that they took no care to hide their faces. I love it so much. It's like, yes, we clearly see that is not them.
We're gonna put a weird white wig on the guy, and like, even though you look nothing like Leslie Nielsen, so
he was a lot thinner than him too.
Speaking of white wigs, the whole taking off the boob hair, I can't. Like,
it's a hat.
We discover that by the end when he.
I'm gonna make those so we can sell at conventions if anyone wants to buy the Dracula.
Yes, you need
hats.
the Dracula boob hair, right? Like, just to walk around. But yeah, again with the castle, I love the whole interaction at the castle. The walking through the spider webs and how Renfield gets stuck in them. I'm like, I know people who would be that cordial to be like, okay, you said follow you. And then it would walk through the fucking thing and like get stuck.
And even like his explanation, he's like, I saw you go through it and I thought that maybe I could, but then that's not. I'm like, that is like, it kind of calls back to me to that, like, you're like so accommodating like English people that it's like, oh, I thought that I would just be able to do this as well.
It's just a spoof on the people who just go along with the crowd.
He even says that. He thought it might have been so many years that it would have been able to walk through. But no, it's an actual spider web, and he gets all tangled up in it.
Yes, like, I have business, so I'm not going to create any waves and question why the laws of physics aren't working right now.
Or why he's making sucking noises when I have a finger cut.
That was, to me, a nice little callback to Dracula when they spoof when he cut himself shaving.
Oh, it's so funny, too, because he's just spraying that blood everywhere.
Oh, must have nipped a vessel.
And it's like, I'm an idiot. He's like just got it all over his shirt. Renfield as Renfield is awesome because he's so aloof. But Renfield, the like servant, is hilarious because he's such an idiot. Yeah,
yes,
he's such an idiot.
He can fly, I can't. He can fly,
He flies, I can't.
I don't.
When the lady vampires come in to try to like drain
Seduce
him, it's like, what are you doing to the furniture?
Yeah.
Wrong me, wrong me, wrong my brains out.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I find it funny that that whole like floating vampire thing, like you can just do that with a hoverboard nowadays. Like you could just literally. Woo.
If you know how to ride one of those things, I'm still too scared to even get on it.
Like, just think back, like all the times you would see that in movies, and like what they had to do. It had to be like roller skates, or it had to be you were on some board and
that somebody's
like,
pulling.
Yeah, that's like now you can literally just do that with a long dress and the stupid hoverboard thing,
it's
or
true.
a long robe or whatever need be.
Wrong my brains out. Yeah. Then we get straight from Renfield is now the servant to the ship. And like poor Dracula's just having a terrible ship ride.
You don't think about this, but okay, think about this in like non-comical terms for a minute. Like you get Dracula and you get Renfield or whatever, right? And you don't know what kind of quality this guy is, right?
Yeah.
You don't know, like, and you're like, protect me on the ship and do all these things and get me there. And it's like you have the hilarious scene where the ship's rocking back and forth and he's trying to like contain the coffin to like keep it from like knocking back and forth and all that. So it's like you're at the mercy of this one guy they sent from England. Be like, all right, this guy's gonna be my slave now. Like he could be like the biggest moron ever and be like, I don't know what that is. I wouldn't know how to get this coffin to the ship, sir. Like.
And like,
well, so you find out is Renfield was pretty much inept once he became his servant.
Yes, and I think about the time it took Renfield to get to Transylvania from London in like the 1800s, right?
Yeah.
Like it'd be like a month, man. Like he had to take that long a time to get there, and then how long would you be on the ship for? Like,
I know, another month. I was like, yeah, you spent basically all summer traveling.
And what if
there
Renfield has like horrible seasickness or something, and then he can't even like help you out, right? Like, there's nothing you can do about it
like
as a human.
That's
like,
what you get. Like for whatever reason, like they were supposed to send one guy, but then you're like, oh, he got sick. We're gonna have to send his replacement, and he's like the most sickly.
And think of how easily people died back then. Somebody could have just died on the way, and nobody would know for months.
That's what happened. The first guy they sent, the ship got shipwrecked somewhere. He's out in a deserted island somewhere, so they had to send Renfield this time. And
somebody got bit by a plague rat. Send another one.
Like
That's way too early.
Ship.
That's way before the 1800s.
Who knows? It was the 1800s version of the plague.
Yes. But so much body comedy from Renfield, even on the ship, as he's just throwing his body around for that fucking coffin.
Well, what the heck does he think was going to happen when he's on top of it and it just keeps sliding back?
I don't know.
He's like, you're a little dude. You're not going to be able to hold that thing down.
I know. Renfield just gets thrown all around. And then we get to London and we're right at the theater. We're watching Faust, which is every horror movie favorite demonic play.
Yes. I find it...
like, if you watch horror movies, you've heard of Faust, even if you don't know the actual story.
Yeah. Nope.
I find it funny in the castle when Renfield is talking about the whole spiderweb thing, and Dracula's just like, Renfield, I don't care.
I don't care.
Renfield. Like, I don't care.
I know you've been on, the road for like a month and a half, but can we sign the papers
if
now?
you're not too tired from traveling half the summer.
Oh.
I do love how they made, what is it? What do you want to call them? The wenches, whatever it need be, the brides or whatever.
Oh, yeah, the brides of...
How when they're walking away, they're still doing the singing. He yells at them. He's like, knock it off.
Yeah. You said the brides, and I went, of Godzilla in my brain. I'm like, no, that's not a thing. I don't know where that came from.
Brides of Godzilla? What kind of weird...
I'm like, but I want that movie now. I don't know.
Is that a movie or a porno?
Ooh. Either way, we're making some money on this idea.
Either way, some lizard man's going to do something.
Uh-oh.
Lizard man is going to be happy at the end of this film.
It changes colors. Look.
Oh, there's a message for Dr. Seward in the lobby.
Oh,
Can I help you?
I love that scene because he tells her forget everything of this conversation. She goes in there and she's like,
I love her face where she's just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck, what was I going to say?
His face is funnier to me when she comes in mid-conversation. He's like, what the fuck? There's a message for Dr. Seward in the lobby.
He's like, really?
Can I help you, sir?
New tip Isn't that from another Mel Brooks comedy?
I believe so.
I'm pretty sure I've heard that in another one.
Or he brings it up again after this movie. I don't know. But
He could
definitely.
but this was the last one he directed.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There's definitely. Oh yeah, it's in there somewhere.
Yep. But Lucy, Mina's friend, who is Dr. Seward's daughter.
So basically, in this one, Dr. Seward is Mina's father, and Harker is still dating
Lucy?
Mina.
Yeah.
And Lucy is just like. Basically, Lucy and Mina switch places versus the Francis Ford Coppola movie because Lucy is just like their guest or whatever. Yeah. Right? I think Dr. Stewart says that she's my ward or something. Yeah. So they're like responsible for her or something. Maybe that's what it was. That she was staying there for the summer.
But she is just fucking hot and bothered by the Count and him.
I'm
looking at her clavicle and shit.
No, it was the occipital mapillary or the
suprasternal
notch. It's an actual thing.
Well, I know it's an actual thing because he points to it and I'm like, hey, I've got one of those. But like, I don't know what it's called. It's that thing. Hopefully it doesn't fuck up and I won't ever have to need to know the name of it.
I'm sorry that I've never, to all the ladies out there when I was single, I'm sorry I never.
That would be such a fucking weird thing if somebody was this thing.
I'm sorry I never complimented any women on that. I know that's the
Wouldn't
one
it be weird though for anybody? Like, even if some lady was like, hey Saul, I really dig your testicles.
But it's not like boobs. It's not the same thing.
I don't know. I mean, if you use the specific word, it takes all the sexy right out of it, right?
Okay, but I'm saying it's not the same level as being like, okay, first of all, why are Saul's balls out? That sounds like where's the theater?
I'm not gonna be in
nice
this situation where my balls are going to be hanging out in public.
It's a hot day, okay? We live in the desert.
It's a hot day. We're watching Faust in the park.
It's a real a horror movie setup. We're just out there.
Put my balls out in.
Hey,
I'm probably going to jail if that happens.
Stranger things have happened in the world, is all I'm saying.
I'm not going to jail if I have my balls out in public. No.
All I'm saying is that
it
would be so weird if somebody was like, "Hey, you know what I really dig on you? Your labia," and I'd be like, "No, get away from me."
But that's not exposed though.
Yes, but okay, that's like saying but that's exposed.
Okay, fine. What if somebody was like, "I like your tibula"?
There you go.
Weird. Still weird.
No,
you don't use the scientific name.
Occipital mapillary sounds cooler than tibia.
Not really. Not really. They all sound weird. Nope.
Does.
And I'm just like, please stop looking at me, you weird man. Don't
okay,
look at me.
I've never, I'm not a woman. I've never been hit on, by a man.
It's not fun. Sometimes it's real unpleasant.
But if I was a woman and then someone was like, your occipital mapillary, I'd be like, you're just looking at my tits, liar.
No, see, you expect tits, and when they say something else, you're like, "Nope, you have women's feet in your freezer."
So what
something.
you're saying is he should have said to Lucy, like, "You have great tits," instead of occipital mapillary.
At least we're ready for it. Like, okay, yeah, I know they're nice.
You're just trying to be clever.
Thanks for looking at them. I made them look real nice today.
She did. Look at the dress. It's funny because the actress was like, "I just basically had to look nice and have my tits out." Like she quoted, she's like, "But this is
so are these."
She was like, I get to work with Mel Brooks, so it was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you get to work with Mel Brooks and be a vampire. Who would say no?
She basically just got to wear fancy dresses the whole time, and
somebody did her hair and makeup, and she got to pretend to be a vampire around Mel Brooks. Yes. I mean, fucking life goals, right?
The one drawback is you have to pretend to be super sexually into Leslie Nielsen.
That would be rough for me.
He's in the exact same costume the entire movie.
Yeah. What else is he gonna wear? He's the Count.
Hey, the other Dracula had different outfits.
He did. I like though when Lucy is like.
Wait, did anyone change? Because I feel like
Lucy did a lot, and so did Nina.
Well, the women for sure, but I'm saying like the men. I don't think they just wore the same outfits except for Jonathan, and they got blood all over his.
Well, but Jonathan always just had a black suit on.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he didn't really have anything specific that would like make you stand out to be like, oh, you changed. Because I think he just wore a black suit the whole time.
Okay, here's my other question. Did people actually dress like that, like back in the 1800s in like the cape and all that?
I've always wondered that because I've listened to a lot of like, interviews after people did like movies and period pieces and stuff, and they're like, period pieces are the worst because of all the clothing, right? Yeah. Especially in summer because it's just so fucking hot. So I'm like, why would you wear that much clothes? Like, did they wear that much clothes in summer?
No, I'm talking about the vampire, like Dracula specifically. Like, where did we get this long cape and all this shit? Like, was that an actual thing? Like, were Romanians or Transylvanians back then wearing a cape?
What it really was just some a hierarchy
It was
of
really,
some guy who was fabulously dressed and he was gay, and they were like, no, he's a vampire.
That's what it was. See, so the translations throughout the years have been like, it was gay. The word got distorted into, he sucks blood. I'm like, that's not the same thing.
Same. Yeah.
He looks fabulous and he eats people. I'm like, no, that's not what he was doing.
I mean, think about any...
he's eating people, but not the way that you're saying.
Yeah.
Any incarnation of Dracula, you think vampire, very good hair, very good skin, very nice clothes. I mean, that's a gay dude.
There's always...
That ain't no straight man out there.
There's always a heavy amount of homoeroticism with vampires.
Yes.
Like, no matter, even the most manliest vampire movie ever, I'm like, there's still some, just this weird, it's very homoerotic. And I'm like, I get it. Maybe that's just what vampires...
And I
think lore? I don't know.
Well, and I think sometimes too, it gets caught in the middle, because I think there's a Key and Peele sketch about how over sexualized vampires are.
It really is.
Yeah.
I think that does that too.
Yeah,
too,
it adds
everything
to that
is
whole
so much...
underlying of just even if it's two dudes in two dude vampires in the room, they still over sexualize it,
Yeah,
so it's all a bunch of panting and are these two dudes gonna kiss? What is going on?
That's basically 90% of Interview with a Vampire.
Yes.
Yes.
It's just real intense breathing and closeness. And really, Tom Cruise is really into Brad Pitt in that movie. Really.
I can't live without you.
I mean,
forever.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my little rant about how Dracula was actually a gay dude.
But why is it that they sexualize vampires so much?
I don't
get
know.
it.
I think maybe it's
used to
the neck
because of
sucking,
everything.
maybe.
I guess.
It's not as brutal as a death, so you can romanticize it, right? And plus, not all vampires are trying to murder you. Some are just trying to make you join their cult.
Yes.
I'm lonely.
I just need friends. I'm going to turn a bunch of people.
Hey, Jeff. Leave me alone, dude.
Can you imagine?
Don't make it weird, dude.
Jeff.
Join me, Jeff.
But I really enjoy the straw noises that we hear when he drinks Lucy.
Yep.
Yes.
Speaking
it's
of
homoeroticism,
homoeroticism, was the enema storyline?
Oh my goodness.
is there an enema? Yes.
Yes, it'll give him a sense of accomplishment once.
Give them an enema, then put them in the straitjacket.
Just all about the enemas. He just wants to make sure everybody's cleaned out.
It reminds me of Beavis and Butthead doing.
I was about to say
that.
that. Give him a full
Cavity
body
searches
search.
for everyone.
He's like,
Let's
go
stop
extra
till you
deep.
get the top.
Oh God.
Robert Stack, by the way. He
Yeah.
played that FBI agent, Beavis and Butthead. So Unsolved Mysteries is ordering around cavity searches. This is my childhood.
But when we first hear that the enema, that's the sound. Oh, raspberry.
Raspberry?
When fucking Renfield is just eating shit that's around the table.
I wanted that scene to go a little differently, and to where I find it funny that Renfield at one point is kind of almost turning it on the doctor that the doctor is crazy.
Yes.
He's like, don't be absurd, man. If you accuse me that I think I'm just going to leave.
I'm just going to leave.
You're going to leave? He just got all huffy about it. Like, I'm the doctor.
I hadn't seen this movie in I don't know how long, but that scene is the thing that I remember the most.
Yeah, no, that scene, the specific scene I remember,
Raspberry?
that gave me that little kid, I can't breathe laugh, when you really get going, was the whole thing when he's got the leg of the grasshopper hanging out of his mouth.
Around your mouth, man. Struggling to live.
That was definitely one of those things where I was laughing, but you heard no noise because no breath was coming in or out, because I died at that point when I was a kid. That just,
That,
the
like I
funniest
said,
scene.
that's the scene that stuck out to me because it just comes out of left field. It's like, this motherfucker's actually eating insects.
He's like, nope, see, there's a raisin missing right here. No, that's not a
But
raisin.
Paul, you're right, though. He tries to play it off as like, why would I do that? He's like, he does that. He's trying to play it off like, no, you're just seeing things.
Man,
and
you're
he's trying.
absurd.
It's fighting for its life, man.
What is it? He's trying to make sense of everything and be like, no, you're just crazy. And then he just fucking flat out starts going after shit.
Yeah. He does that weird little laugh that I love.
He's like a bee or a fly or something.
I love when Mina goes to wake up Lucy and you see her puncture wounds for the first time. I'm like, they're so fucking far apart.
Yeah.
It's a good 4 inches there.
Sorry, wait. Let's go back to the house, the nighttime. when Dracula comes in and the stupid doll they have on the ceiling, when he's like, "Oh, there's no danger whatsoever. Yes. Oh, this latch is stuck. I'll just give it a jolly good slam." Like the stupid, like flat-faced doll that falls off the ceiling.
Yes.
I'm like, it's so cheesy, and the fact that I think that they stay on that cut for just an extra half second once it falls and like kind of wobbles. I'm like, they knew that it looked cheesy.
All of the dolls in this film were impeccably cheesy, and I think it was it was supposed to be that way. Like there's ones when he's carrying, like he's supposed to be carrying Mina, and you like see the back of the doll, which isn't completely finished. It's like, after he picks up Essie,
Marla Hooch.
Well, the other one too is when he flings her when they're doing the dance.
Yeah,
you can totally tell right off the bat. You're like, oh, he's just flinging a doll.
Yep, I love it. I love this whole movie. Oh, that weird little laugh gets me. And then we meet Van Helsing because we have to send out Dr. Seward sends away for him, and Harvey Korman. We have to talk about Harvey Korman because he is hilarious. He's been hilarious in a lot of things. I'm pretty sure he was in the Carol Burnett Show for a long time. Is that him?
I believe so, yeah. I think he's been in a lot of things, yeah.
I didn't even realize it was the same dude from, like, other Mel Brooks movies. I had to be, like, because he plays such a different, like, genre of himself. It's so weird to see the switch, but he's so good at Dr. Seward and his
props
little,
to
like...
him that he's actually able to have that much of a range.
Yeah, no, I love... And he pulls it off, like, his little... Blum, 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 like, he does all the, like, blumbering...
Nothing but a common degenerate!
Yes.
You've only been... engaged to my daughter for 5 years.
And now you're touching her? How dare you?
How dare you? I love that. She's like, she told me to do it, and he gets mad at her and exactly the point.
She told me to touch it.
No, I can't explain that.
Can you explain that? I was worried that this whole podcast episode was just going to be...
This podcast is going to be
me and Paul doing...
Just going back and forth.
Like, she will become 100.
10 out of 10. Yes.
I love Van Helsing's introduction because he's making every single one of those med students or whatever you want to call them
drop like flies. Yes.
And then the best one where you see the the dude from Revenge of the Nerds, the nephew.
Yeah.
Of all the things to remember him from, you remember him from that.
I remember him from that. Here's another thing about it though too is I had a substitute teacher in high school.
There you go. That
looks just like him. So anytime I see him, I think of it was Mr. B.
I think of Raising Hope. Yeah,
yep.
He's the
him in a fat suit.
Him in the fat suit in Raising Hope is hilarious.
But yeah, Dr. Van Helsing, Mel Brooks, he's hilarious, and he's just a caricature of Van Helsing throughout this whole thing. An emergency.
I do have to point out that, as cheesy and funny as this movie is, Leslie Nielsen was 68 years old at the time that they filmed this movie.
What?
And he actually tied Bela Lugosi for the actor playing the oldest version of Dracula.
Does he always look the same in every single one of his movies?
I think even in the black and white movies, he looked exactly the same. I think his hair is just not changed in like 100 years.
Yeah.
He just has the white hair.
It's all even in like, if you think about like the first Airplane, like it was like grayish, but still like gray and white. Like it was never. Yeah, I've never seen it like other than gray or white.
Yeah, I've never seen it with pigment.
He's like Steve Martin to me.
What color was your hair? I think it would just be weird at this point until you see like a younger picture of him with hair color and everything.
Well, could you though, or would it be in black and white?
I don't know.
Well, even if it wasn't black and white, it'd be a dark color. It'd either be dark or white. How we don't know him as.
Still, I don't know. It's void of color to me, black and white.
But yeah, to me, he's one of those people that never ages. Like I mean, this movie came out in '95, and then you have the other movies that we've seen of him with Airplane and
Mr. Magoo.
Creepshow, Mr. Magoo.
There was I wonder the last thing he ended up just doing all those scary movies and like all those like spoofs of other movies.
Naked Gun.
Because
that was his bread and butter.
No, but I'm saying like the last things in his career were all like spoof movies. Like he just went full bore into it.
Hey, he's the paycheck man.
Because even when we were looking last night, like we watched it on Amazon, and you know how it suggests other movies. Like it suggested like all these other.
Yeah, see, that's weird. That doesn't even look like him.
He looks like Robert Stack in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does look like him.
Yeah, no.
Google an old picture of Leslie Nielsen.
He apparently
like
had dark
Stack.
hair.
don't know.
I feel.
Well, that picture
I need to
remi-
take a shower.
Hey, that could have just been gray right there. You don't know. That's what I'm saying. Black and
That
white.
picture reminds me of, you know how when you have a relative that you've only known them as the way they look, and then when you see pictures of them when
I've always known you as an old person.
Yes.
Sorry.
So when you see them younger, it just throws you off completely and be like, wait, what the fuck?
No, you were an old person who I've clearly always known as an old person. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, but that's just how you are.
Our youngest son asked me the other day if they had schools when Grandpa was a kid. I forgot to tell him that. I'm like, you're gonna have to ask him yourself because I don't know.
See what he said?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Dracula has a daymare, and it's one of my
I
favorite
love daymares.
scenes because it looks like an old painting.
I loved daymare when I was a little kid. The first time I saw this, I'm like, daymare, that's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Like no one ever thinks about that.
Yep. No, it just totally looks like an old painting. Like not anyone specific, but
Complete
you
with
know
the-
you've seen it somewhere. Like
Complete with the running in place in a dream because you
Yes.
can't go. Like it's
and I
so,
love how he starts smoking like 5 minutes after he got there. Like not immediately.
Well, he has that one thing he says because what he. Oh wait, no, man. There's another picture of him. It just looks
But
weird.
somebody colorized that. See.
It just looks weird.
It does look weird.
But still, though, when his daymare, that was funny is because he thinks because he drank Lucy's blood because she was youth, or not, the youth was what cured him, and now he's a daywalker.
Sunscreen,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Like that's not a thing. When
It
you've
was-
had to wouldn't that have happened before you have taken somebody young? Like
Yeah,
you're an old
It's,
vampire.
I don't know. Has he ever had someone young? I mean, obviously the two chicks in the house was the last time, but if he didn't leave or even try, then I don't know.
I don't know.
It was the occipital mammaries
It
that she
was.
was
There you go.
sucking blood from.
I love when Van Helsing goes to see Lucy and he's like, "But where did all the blood go?
Look at it on the pillowcase.
Can you explain that?" Oh, and then garlic for poor Lucy.
They put that shit
did.
everywhere.
I love how Renfield, when Renfield goes to get him, like he only gets like 3 or
I know, he
4
gets, like,
of the
3 of them.
things. Yeah.
And he's like, what was his plan? What was he going to do with all the fucking
Don't
garlic?
know.
Like,
Apparently,
take it
look at
outside?
some beef real quick, and
And even then, though, it's like, how are you going to get rid of all of that?
yeah,
Like,
there's way too much.
He's so incompetent. He's making all that fucking noise. Like, dude, you're going to get caught. And what happens? He does get caught.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets sent off to the crazy house again with another enema.
Yep, he does. Going back to what you were saying about how old Leslie Nielsen was in
can I
this.
just point out something real quick?
Yes,
I
go
just
ahead.
want to horror PSA that looking at anyone's vagina is not worth an enema
No.
in my book.
I mean, it's
I've
really,
never had-
some folds.
I've never had an enema, but I'm pretty sure that just staring at some broad's vagina while she's trying to sleep is not worth having an enema.
And hey, back in the 1800s, bitches didn't shave. So you were just staring at hair.
I know,
like-
wouldn't she have like those pantaloon underwear things
Yeah.
on anyway
Yeah.
under her?
I mean, she did
Under
when she
the-
went to bed the first night with when she shows when she gives Drac a little show. Like she still had the
creeping me.
pantaloons and like the corset on and shit.
I mean, much like in the Francis Ford Coppola one, they were getting to be old maids at that point.
I
So
guess.
she didn't have any suitors coming around, or she wasn't engaged, so she needed something, man. And this guy did he buy a convent? Because what's an abbey? What is
And
Carfax
Abbey is it's an old
did
convent.
he buy an old you can't do that, right? Like
Yeah, you
can't.
can if the
But
church is selling it.
No, I'm not saying legally you can't do it. I'm saying as a vampire, you can't really live there, can you?
That's
Like,
not a
As long as you get rid of all the
though.
religious
Well,
symbols, then yeah.
but at the
when- okay,
end,
but
he
is-
moves his thing to an old church anyway.
I guess, but okay. But my point is, are they not holy places then? Where
No.
the nuns live? It's,
No,
just,
these
it's a
are
regular
just
house.
the nunneries are training facilities
Yeah.
that
Oh,
they
so
go and
it's
get
holy
trained.
in training. It's not.
It's a holy gymnasium.
You have to.
and-
It's not holy though. That's what
Okay.
I'm saying. That's
Well-
what I'm saying. Like that's my point.
Okay, it's the gymnasium where they learn to be holy and then they're sent off.
It's like the Avengers campus.
There you go.
There you go.
Of Jesus.
Of
There you
Jesus. But yes, going back to when Dracula goes to Renfield and he's like, they've hung up garlic everywhere. Go get this garlic out. And he's hanging upside down. Poor Leslie Nielsen. Poor old ass Leslie Nielsen. I'm like, his eyes are red
I
and they
know.
are watering. Like, get that old ass man upside down.
I'm
Like,
pretty-
get him
like,
right
pass
side
out.
up.
I'm
Like,
pretty sure they did that in one take. Hopefully.
I hope so. Because I was
They
like,
could've used some
no.
movie magic on that. Why are they making that poor old man hang upside
Right?
down?
Like, ooh. Ooh. Every time I watch it, I'm like, his eyes are running. They're so watery.
He's about to pass out.
I always laugh though when Lucy and Renfield scream at each other when she, yeah, like they both scream. And then Dracula makes Lucy come outside because he ain't dealing with all that fucking garlic after Renfield goes away. And Mina comes out to see them, and that fake scream, because obviously she can't scream because that was a voiceover. So ridiculous.
It was it was reminiscent of the scene in Bram Stoker's Dracula. The Lucy raping scene.
Yeah, where she gets where that werewolf thing.
Rape
yeah,
scene.
the werewolf thing that we were like, why is he a werewolf now?
And then he had blue balls afterwards.
That's right. Gynecology? I didn't know you had your hand in that too.
Yes, we have Nosferatu. We have Nosferatu today.
They had it coming.
Yes.
They had it coming.
Because it's clear that he's Vlad the Impaler. Yeah. And Van Helsing is just fucking with him at this point. I love when and he's just going and he's like, he stuck their heads on spikes. Like, they had it coming.
When they catch Renfield after he gets the peep of the pantaloons, so I'm not even going to say beef. It's like, there's going to be 8 layers of clothes.
I know, so when he was like, I saw everything, so he just saw chonies, like old school chonies.
Let's imagine even if she was sleeping with nothing under that nightgown, right?
Yeah.
There would still be, like you said, a massive amount of beef hair.
Beef hair, yeah.
So yeah, it's like, I mean, I guess that's everything. I mean, if Jonathan and Mina have been married or engaged for 5 years and they've not even touched each other.
I know, who knows if Renfield.
Seeing some, beef hair might be the thrill of your life at that point.
It could be. I love when Lucy rises and goes after Jonathan, and he's just like, she's like, I'm not dead, I'm undead. And he's like, well, I'm not unengaged. Like, what? But Lucy, I'm British.
I'm engaged. You're dead.
I love when they do get to Lucy's little sarcophagus, whatever the hell you want to call it, and Van Helsing sticks behind the pillar.
Oh, yeah. We got to know where to stand.
It's all about location.
Everything in life is location, location, location is the line he says.
And he says the other line that he says is like, maybe we should lay down some newspaper. I think there's going to be this much blood.
We should have laid down some newspaper.
There's so much blood.
That scene, I know I've mentioned it before, and I think I mentioned it in the Bram Stoker.
You might have, yeah.
Steven Weber, I think is his name, the actor that plays Jonathan Harker. He didn't know how much blood there was going to be, so they just told him you're going to hit this, and there's going to be blood coming up, and blah blah blah. He didn't know that they were going to use 200 gallons of blood.
Holy crap!
So he was supposed to do it a third time actually, but
they ran out.
After the second time, no, he didn't run out. He was just like, the line that he says, "She's dead enough." He did that improv, like just because he was like, "I'm not doing this again." Damn. He was just like, "She's dead enough."
I love when they first hit it and it goes everywhere, and he's just like, "Oh my god, there's so much blood."
Well, I guess Mel Brooks wanted his reaction to be
genuine
to the amount of blood, because I guess like I said,
he plays it.
Blood's gonna come out,
and
blah, blah, blah.
I know that story, and to see the scene, I love how he just still plays it, like as he's taking that little tiny handkerchief and just like toweling off and like squeezes it out to try to get some of the blood out, like.
I think that is probably the one prank that I would maybe play on somebody that works in the cemetery or something. Like if you could put a recording, behind like if she was in her mausoleum thing or whatever, and she's like, "They buried me alive, help me!" And like, how freaked out would you be if you worked there? Right? That's gonna be like the one thing. Nope.
Paul's gonna fuck around and start some sort of weird pandemic where people think vampires are coming back.
But it's just a recording.
But people are stupid.
How's it going to start people are going to think vampires are real.
Yes, then they're going to start opening coffins and staking people in the heart. It's going to be a whole thing.
I prank one cemetery guy, and all of a sudden there's a worldwide vampire.
Just do it in Florida so it doesn't seem like it's all out of place.
Yeah, there you go.
No, they've already had a zombie, remember?
No, they had a dude eating a dude because of bath salts. That's not a zombie.
Because that's the only thing you always see, a Florida man.
Hey, what happened to that guy?
Do we know? If you're a live dude eating another dude, it's just cannibalism.
Do we know what happened to that guy? We don't know. He could be in some barrel in New Jersey or somewhere.
That's true.
They lost him in transit. We don't know.
We just started making memes after. We didn't figure out what happened to
that. Then the dude with the thick neck came up, and it was all next Tuesday.
And then they decide to have a big ball after Mina's
That's not why they had the ball.
Well, they figured out
Lucy's dead.
Yeah, because Mina's a vampire, so they got to figure out who the vampire is.
She wasn't a vampire yet.
It's funny how they came to the realization of it. They're like, well, who's like, what is it? They're like, maybe it's Count Dracula. He's only been
like,
here for
who could it be? Count Dracula. Well, it could be.
He's like, he's only been here for the last 2 weeks or whatever need be, or what did they say?
It was a month, I think.
Yeah, a month. Oh, but they have this big ball, and that finish your drink guy, the one who throws the drink in his face, was from Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've never thought about this, and I know it's just part of vampire lore, but why don't vampires cast a reflection?
I don't know.
Here's why.
Like, I need the science.
Here's the thing that I've read before, and I don't know how true this is. I mean, because it's
obviously it's vampire.
Yeah. Back then, the backing of mirrors was made out of silver.
Oh, okay.
And since silver is a pure metal, it affects vampires.
Mm-hmm.
So
wouldn't
if a
pick
mirror,
up their reflection?
yes. So if the mirror was backed by silver, then it didn't work to cast the reflection on the vampire. So today,
vampires,
that probably wouldn't even
be a thing.
It wouldn't make a thing at all. So
yeah.
Vampires could use mirrors.
Gotcha. I mean, because they pulled that ruse in
that one movie.
Fright Night, where he brings the little mirror. Yes. Remember? Yeah, the little mirror. And I was just like, what is with mirrors? But yeah. And then Renfield is also at the ball going, Master, Mister.
That's funny because
I think
he's
yelling
at him. Because he just does that. Master, he's like,
or
what is it? He tells him, he's like, don't tell them I'm your master. And
yeah, I love when he's like, they invited me here.
Invited me.
They think I'm stupid. Well, I mean,
you're not giving him much of a choice.
The line that Mel Brooks gives to Harker later when Harker was like, I thought he said Mister, and he's like, no, it was just a ruse to fool the feeble-minded. Like, no offense.
It's like, we must follow him to find out where Dracula is.
Oh,
lost him.
Yeah, I lost him. Like, oh, we're in luck. He's an imbecile.
Yes. See, that's what I'm saying. If Dracula had picked a smarter, right-hand man, then maybe things would have worked out in his favor.
So he's like familiar then, because he yeah.
I think my second favorite scene in the movie is when he goes and tells Mina to stand up, and she has that caretaker with her.
Oh yeah, and he's like, "No, you go back to bed, and you come out to the terrace," and they run into each other.
And they just keep going. It's like you start walking, and the other one starts walking. It's like no, and then when you finally think, okay, he got them all under control. He leaves the thing, and he looks, and he sees that it was the caretaker. It's like, damn it! He goes, puts her back, and he says that whole line again.
I will love you forever. We will. Does it all fast?
I can't wait.
That's the scene when he comes back out with the Mina doll. Where I'm like, you can see that one's not quite finished. That's all right though.
It was the repurposed doll from the ceiling drop.
Mm.
Yes.
They just put a dress on.
Yeah, third dress.
Wig.
Like, just bend the head back a little bit.
But when they do follow Renfield, I love when they get to the church or wherever where Dracula has hidden his coffin.
Yeah.
You still get Renfield, like you get a Renfield squish when they run over him up the stairs.
The body one,
yes.
And then it steps on his crotch and be like, "Ay!"
Like he's so good at making those little noises. Oh, and then they fight, and he's like, "You can't do anything," and he pokes him in the eye. I'm like, "Yes, you always go for the eyes."
We've been talking about forever is like if you're in a life or death situation,
go for that.
No, do something unexpected.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it's got to do. Just they're gonna expect you to punch. All that. Yeah, go for the eyes. Go for the nose. Go for the throat. The occipital mammary, or whatever the fuck it was called.
If you punch somebody in that thing, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, that you could. If you punch something in the throat, I think it affects their breathing for a little bit. So yeah.
Don't do that, kids.
Well, it's life and death.
Well, okay, but
the other thing too is that if you go for the eyes, they're going to be blurred. And
no matter what,
and then you can get away.
No matter if it's life and death, no matter what you're fighting, it's a shark or a bear or a human. Eyes.
Yes. If they can't see you, then bitches can't find you.
Because chances are that shit's going to hurt.
It's a very sensitive spot.
You poke something's eyes, they're going to let go of you.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're holding you, stabbing you, biting you, whatever. They're going to let go of you.
Yes.
I love the ridiculousness of when the sun, because every vampire movie ends with the sun coming up and like a big vampire death. But I love when he opens the blinds and they have like those blind shade lines on him as it burns into him.
There's another movie he does that in. I think he does that in Repossessed as well. Not Mel Brooks.
The thing you do have to appreciate though is the incompetency of Renfield, and he accidentally kills his master by. Lifting up?
Renfield, you asshole! You asshole!
Oh, you gotta love that. He accidentally kills his master, and then when he gets his ashes and puts them into the coffin.
Oh yeah, when he picks it up with those two board plank
Boards.
things.
Smiley
Yeah.
face.
You're looking like your old self again. I do have to say though, I love Bat Drac. He's so cute with his little bat ears.
And his head.
Mm-hmm. And when he looks up and he's just like, I'm like, look at little Bat Drac.
You have to have a person like Leslie Nielsen to be like, want to like, okay, I'm gonna put these big ears on and all that shit, just to be like, all right, let's get this over.
I mean, he worked with OJ. He ain't scared of nothing.
This is pre-Stabby OJ.
No, because he was.
I don't think this was.
95.
I mean, he worked with pre-Stabby OJ, but this was not.
This was 95. When does OJ? I don't remember.
I think it was the same.
It was around then.
Was
yeah.
it?
It was 95.
94, 95?
I don't remember when things happened.
It was 95, 96.
95, I was 9 years old, so.
Oh, from what I've heard, Leslie Nielsen is a very kind of let's go, let's do the movie and be done. He's like, I had a professor that I had in one of my film classes that worked with him on a local like DMV commercial when just before he died when he was
because he lived here.
Because he died here. He retired
in
here
Phoenix, by the way,
in
guys.
Phoenix, and he did some local like DMV commercials for the state, like 4 or 5 of them, and one in particular, the professor was like, yeah, he's like, he showed up, he's like, all right, let's get this down in a few takes. He's like, I got a golf tee time. He's like, let's get it done and over with, man.
Hey, when that's how everybody shows up to work.
But
so
yeah,
but
I mean, like if you're a guy that's been in the business as long as he is, and he's like, I know my lines, I know where to stand.
Yep.
Let's
I know
go.
my job. You know your job. We'll be good.
I'm gonna do it. You're gonna shoot it. We're gonna be done. I'm gonna get to golfing, and I'm gonna make $50,000 real quick.
I've never been that employee that when a manager comes up to me and is like, "You want to work overtime?" You're like, nope. I'm gonna go home.
I've gotten to that point now that I'm older. I'm
work?
like, no. Unless that shit is mandatory, I'm like, no, you're not getting me to volunteer to come in. No.
I was always the one be like, is it dead? I could just leave early. I mean, you don't want to pay me, right? Like I could just go. I'm trying to help you out here.
I'm trying to save the company some money by me leaving early.
The normal amount of hours you want me to be here.
Don't you want to like be here and be no? This is a job.
Like, I know you're
this
paying
is
me
a job
overtime.
I don't want to do, so I don't know why you think I want to get into this.
It's like I know you're wanting to pay me overtime, but no, that's still not enough.
Yeah,
that's not worth it.
No, my time is valuable, bitches. And Leslie Nielsen's apparently was too, and I can respect that.
Yeah, he had to go golf.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's a beautiful day.
I saw a meme the other day. It was like humans really decided instead of laying around naked all the time, we were gonna go to work and shit. Like, yeah, who decided this fucking stuff? Like, why don't we have to just live in our lives?
Yes.
Ugh. Sick of this societal bullshit.
You mean like tribal nomadic people?
Just be naked in a forest somewhere.
Because we've had talks about genital accidents and caveman.
We have talked about genital accidents.
So there would be a lot more genital accidents.
And bugs crawling into things that no bugs need to crawl into.
We had the discussion about the big bush. So yeah. It'd be no, I'm fine with this.
But I mean, hey, they have knives in the forest. You can cut your bush off.
No. It's
I
not
mean,
the same. No, you can't. Where are you gonna go?
Why do you never see like tribal people with big beards? You think that's like an ecological like?
They have something to shave, rocks, so probably doesn't.
Well, you never see, but you never like you see the old men, right? They keep their beards or whatever. Like
I don't know. Because who are you?
This
talking
doesn't
about?
even matter because this is about Dracula.
Those people aren't beard people. Okay, that's all you need to know.
Maybe, yeah, maybe
just
they're
not beard people.
I don't know.
They're just bush people.
They're bush people. Anyway, that was Dracula Dead and Loving It from Mel Brooks in 1995.
Yes.
I love this movie. It's hilarious. You should go watch it. If you haven't seen it, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Exactly.
Go watch it.
You can't go wrong with Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks' comedy is just...
I mean, he cornered the market in comedy for a good, 10 years for a while.
Yeah.
There was a long time where I was just like, Mel Brooks.
And his son writes...
Yes, who?
Max
Brooks.
Yes.
He wrote the Zombie Guide to the
Zombie Scouts Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse.
No, there you go, that one.
Yes.
And then he wrote World War Z, which they turned into a shitty ass movie.
Yeah.
He wrote the book?
Yeah, he wrote the book.
I didn't know that.
We did Scouts Guide last year for April Fools. This is Return of April Fools this month, guys.
Yeah, we probably should
No, I'm
mention
talking
at the
about.
beginning of the podcast.
He didn't write the Scouts Guide. He wrote the. I have it in my room. It's just the guidebook.
Oh, the guidebook. Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Guidebook.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, he wrote that one.
I liked World War Z. I didn't mind it. But I like...
I've heard the book's way better.
I like bureaucracy. So I'm like,
I
what is this process? Because this is humans. Humans are stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Humans do have to run things up the chain of command.
Yeah, if this thing really happened, look how dumb we'd be.
Yeah. We're gonna send this 19-year-old out and give him a gun.
Because the thing that's funny is I remember meeting Max Brooks at a Comic-Con a few years ago, and a lot of people kept asking him about his dad. And that's like one of the things everybody kept saying is like, you can talk to him about a bunch of stuff, but please don't ask him about his dad.
That's your dad. Nobody wants to talk about that's your relationship with your dad. Nobody wants to talk about that stuff. Yes, he's old. Is that what you want to know? He's old and he's out there living his life. What more do you want from him?
I'd be like, okay, but we're going to talk about your dad too.
Yep. How's your dad doing?
How's he doing?
Where's he at?
Why aren't you with him right now?
You don't know my dad? See, then you run into that issue. That's what he should just do at every Comic-Con. Be like, I don't know. And just start crying.
He's been kidnapped.
They did make it was, like 3 years ago when the pandemic first happened. I do remember that they made like a distancing video together, him and his dad.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Through the window or whatever. Because, he was a part of that very fragile community that the coronavirus seemed to do a lot of damage in. Yes. I don't want to say old people, but he's an old person.
I think there's a documentary on HBO Max about Mel Brooks. I haven't seen it, but it's supposed to be pretty good. For an HBO documentary, it's got to be pretty good because they do pretty good stuff.
Well, next week we are coming back with Juan of the Dead, which will be a zombie comedy.
Ooh, I'm interested about that one.
We have not seen it. I have not heard much about it. It's a foreign one too, so it'll be pretty interesting. We haven't done a foreign film in a while.
No, we haven't.
I don't even remember the last foreign film we did.
Probably Train to Busan.
The only foreign film.
The only foreign film we did. Yeah. So next week will be.
Should we do more foreign films? I think we should ask our audience.
Well,
let us know.
Technically there have been other foreign films, but Train to Busan I think was the only movie that we've done where we've had to read
subtitles. Yeah, I think so. But we did get another request after fan request month of The Exorcist, and we do plan on doing that one at some time, but it'll have to be during the summer because it doesn't really go with our whole comedy theme this month. I mean, there are humorous parts in The Exorcist, but I don't really think it fits the theme for April Fool's month.
They're unintentionally humor.
They are. They are.
So you're saying we should do a month of unintentional humor?
Ooh, that might be an interesting, month. But where was I going with that?
Well, we forgot to mention that this is the return of April Fool's month.
We did, yeah. So yes, in case we didn't explain it very well, this is the return of April Fool's month. Last April we did a whole month of horror comedies, and we decided we had so much fun last year, we're doing it again.
Yes.
So return of April Fools because we like to laugh.
Yes, and we need laughter in these times.
Yes, still these times. Still these times.
Who doesn't need a little Mel Brooks in their life?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Did he do any other quote-unquote horror movies, Mel Brooks, I mean?
I don't think he did.
I don't know.
This is the only one that was really kind of horror, I think.
She will become one herself.
Just welcome to our new Mel Brooks podcast.
Where we just do Mel Brooks quotes.
We talk about a Mel Brooks movie and do quotes for a solid hour.
But you guys can always email us with questions, comments, concerns, or requests at podcast@scaryturn. You don't want their concerns?
I don't want their
What if they're concerned about you, Paul? What if they're like, I think Paul's mental health needs to be checked on?
Then that says more about me than does them. So.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, hold on real quick. Kim.
No.
I told you I would get you one day. I told you I would get you one day when you weren't expecting it.
She's not looking.
She looked. She looked up.
I don't know why you guys have to do that.
Sorry, I just circled my belly button and pointed at Kim.
But yes, you can contact us at podcast@scarynerd.com. You can check us out on all the social medias. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell us how much you love us or hate us. Do the stuff you do. Tell your friends and family about how amazing and hilarious our podcast is.
Leave us a 5-star rating.
Yes.
On something, anything.
And wherever with some words, because we keep getting 5-star ratings. But I'm like, do you guys like us? I don't know. I need fucking reassurance, all right?
On wherever you listen to the podcast, just rate it.
Yes, just rate it, please. We need that. And we love you guys, and we are so thankful that you're here with us every week. And we are trying to be better at podcasting, which is why we've started introducing things. Yes. So if you like...
What are we introducing?
Well, we explained about
it.
See, Paul's not even on this whole getting organized. This is what I'm working with, guys. This is what I'm working with.
I introduced my belly button to Kim. Sorry,
he did.
I'm helping.
See, I try to wrangle these guys, but I mean, there's just no doing that sometimes.
We're children.
But I think that's the end of the podcast.
Kim, which is creepier, Someone pointing their belly button and circling it, or a guy at a bar telling you have a beautiful occipital mapillary or whatever the fuck it was. The belly button?
Nobody wants to see your belly button.
Imagine that actually happening at a bar, though. Some dude's lifting up the shirt and telling that. He's like, you know.
I'm not saying at the bar the belly button thing. I'm just, okay, let me rephrase that. I don't mean like, hey, at the bar. Like,
I'm not even going to lie. This has happened to me, not at a bar.
Wait, somebody circled their belly button at the bar?
Not at a bar. Me and my friends were driving to a concert one day, and there was like, down the road, like from the concert, we were all stuck in traffic. There was like some construction, and some dude just lifted up his shirt to a car full of 16-year-olds and was showing off his belly button. And we were all like, "Did that just happen?"
Did he circle it though?
He did, and we were all like, "We need an adult because I don't know what that means." Or I have been traumatized. It's a deep memory that's not going anywhere.
What concert was it? Because that depends. It might have been warranted if it was a dumb concert.
It was the Warped Tour. Okay, I was 16. Okay. I was at the Warped Tour. Okay, in Council Bluffs, Iowa. You leave me alone. All right.
Yeah. With
a car full of friends.
Okay, so what is that? Was that more weird, or is some guy at a bar pointing into your occipital mammillary?
I would say most interactions with dudes are all on the same level of weird.
There you go. See,
so we don't know. It's a what's the word?
We don't know. It's
a lateral. It's a lateral.
It's a lateral move.
There you go.
It's a lateral move.
See, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. All we know is horrible movies.
Y'all don't know
all
what you're doing.
All we know is what horrible movies and our weird cousin taught us, okay?
The whole gender's a fucking mess. I'm just saying.
Hey, and you have 3 boys.
I do.
Okay, horror PSA.
This podcast has gone off the rails. I don't even know what we're talking about
just
anymore.
Regular PSA for women. Guys are dumb.
Guys are dumb.
We are smart at so many things. Just reading signs from women or opposite sex or whatever we're interested in.
So, guys, if you think you're picking up a sign, chances are you're not.
Yeah.
If you think
you're not.
Yeah. Guys, if you think there's a sign, there's not. Women, if he's not getting the sign, he's dumb.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just tell him flat out.
I mean,
and that's the one thing. Why don't women just flat out tell men, like, hey, I kind of like you?
Because when we get
dudes would be like, okay.
Because when we get blunt, there's the chance that we're like, oh, you're gonna scare the dude away.
Okay, but if you scare that dude away,
you guys are also like simultaneously predators, but also like tiny little bunnies we have to like hold on to in our hands.
Because if you go up to
very
a guy,
weird dance,
if
man.
you go up to a guy and say, I like you, I'm into you, like whatever, right? And he gets shy and awkward and goes away, then that dude was insecure about something anyway, and you saved yourself a relationship that was going to.
But what if you're insecure?
Insecure about what? Just saying I'm into you, or do you like me too?
Lots of people have mental health problems.
Okay, but I'm saying if women would just did that instead of trying to get signs, because maybe some women are bad at giving signs out.
Oh, we all are. Okay. Humans are a mess.
We are a mess. That's what I'm saying. Why not cut the red tape and just tell people how you fucking feel?
I mean, I've seen some women out there give their vaginas away to dudes who don't deserve their vaginas.
Okay, so then what does this leave us with?
Honey, you need to take your vagina back.
So what is it?
Take it back from him.
All it leaves us with is circling the belly button. Like, you into this at all?
No one is into that. I'm going to just put it out into the world right now. No one is into dudes circling their little happy trail ass belly button.
There has to
no
be,
one.
There has to be someone into it, or it wouldn't be a thing.
It's not a thing, Paul. It's only a thing to you.
But you had it happen to you years before I even knew you. So apparently it is a fucking thing.
Only to dudes. Only to dudes. Girls aren't out there being like, yeah, you want this? No, because it's fucking weird.
No, but there are women that it's worked, or otherwise men wouldn't do it anymore.
Yeah. They get Joe Dirt.
Women, if this works on you, get better standards. That's all I'm saying. Go to therapy. Learn to love yourself, because clearly you don't. You don't love yourself.
Hey,
okay?
You don't know what people are into. There might be some chicks out there that are into belly buttons for some reason.
Yeah. Look at Joe Dirt.
Oh, there's probably people that are into Audis.
Oh.
That's a thing.
Like somebody's licking it or something.
Oh, yes.
Saul's grossed out. He's just shaking his head.
No, wait. No,
I'm trying not to sneeze.
You're picturing it. Saul. Audilingus. I'm calling it Audilingus.
No!
Audilingus.
Oh my God, we have to sign off this podcast before we
I just tongue flicked Saul and said I'm going to name it Audilingus.
There you go.
And he got the visual.
Right.
Now you know Audilingus. We'll see you
next
week.
Fucking weirdos. If you're into Audilingus or anything,
Juan of the Dead next week.
Juan of the Dead.
Juan of the Dead, Audilingus. We're out.